This week, the NBA tips off. Rip gets a vacation pass, and we have the five-star chef of Field Trip in Harlem and the Atlantis Hotel in the Bahamas. Dude's slogan is rice is culture. Our friend and chef, JJ Johnson.
The NBA season has officially tipped. Go Phoenix Suns. And one-star listeners, go to 500level.com and grab some t-shirts. Devin Booker, Jalen Brunson, our one-star alum guy Peyton Watson. Mystery shirts for $10. 500level.com for all the hottest shirts in the game. Use the discount code DK and RIP for 20% off everything at checkout. DKANDRIP. 500level.com. Let's go.
Hey, what's up, everyone? It's me, Chef JJ, coming in from New York City. I'm here with the one-star recruit. We're going to talk everything and anything.
Yo, aloha. Welcome to the One Star Recruits podcast. 78 degrees in the hills of Kalaheo, Hawaii. Fresh off of a poke rice bowl. An Arizona Cardinals win this weekend. Life is beautiful, Rip. All is well. A-L-A. You know what that means, Rip? A-L-A in Hawaiian?
Alabama?
Alabama. No. A-L-A. It's a ceremony. It's a morning sunrise ceremony. It's held every morning here on the island of Hawaii. Very awesome, but in essence, it's a way to wash away negativity. Start the day fresh. New sun, new day. Negativity gets washed away. Felt that way about the Arizona Cardinals win. Felt that way about this year for you, maybe, Rip. Happy birthday. Birthday was celebrated last week. 1 to 5 stars. How do you rate it? I know you were a little nervous about it.
I give it a 5 stars. We ended the night at Frozen Oasis over here in Long Beach. Frozen yogurt topped with cookie dough and cheesecake pieces. Unbelievable. 5 stars for sure.
You went right to the end. There's 5 stars split, but no, you just gave me the bread of that story. Did you get a rest? Did you get a sandwich? Any time to yourself? Any of these things that we talked about last week are one froyo that probably cost you $16? Froyo's out of control nowadays. And you're a happy man.
Yeah, I sent you the picture. I usually get the smaller size, but I went with the jumbo one time a year. The thing probably weighed a pound by itself. $41 for 4 people for frozen yogurt. 2024.
Inflation doesn't pay. I think probably 20 years ago, froyo, when it started getting real popular, you could do a family of 4 for under $20. So yeah, doubled, man. That makes sense. Well, happy birthday, my friend. Glad you had a 5-star. We've had some 5-star marketing going on with the podcast. Good stuff. James Conner had a big running game for the Cardinals. Not a ton of touchdowns, not a lot of stuff that you'll see on Sports Center, but every time he touched the ball, he inflicted pain on the defense. And he's running so hard every time that it's just really a great example for the Arizona Cardinals of putting in the effort every single week. And we got rewarded on the podcast because we asked Emmitt Smith, the GOAT, about James Conner. And of course, right after that Monday night game, Rip, we had to get that clip up immediately because that's the essence of what a football team needs to win. You need to get that extra 4 or 5 yards. There's one run with King James, the new King James of Tempe, Phoenix, and Glendale. Took a defensive lineman on his back for a first down, 4 or 5 yards. Got up, went right back to the huddle. Defensive lineman's on the ground, injured, air knocked out of him. I mean, talk about beast mode. So big round of applause for the one stars and for the Arizona Cardinals and for Conner. Emmitt Smith podcast, a lot of great feedback, Rip. Wonderful booking. I'm not sure if you have any Cowboys fans in your life. They probably have gone ice cold at this point in time. But a lot of great feedback from getting Emmitt. So wonderful run for us here at the One Stars.
Yeah, and especially for James Conner, if a lot of people don't know his story, but he overcame Hodgkin lymphoma back in 2015 while he was actually rehabbing from a torn MCL. So Emmitt talked about it in that clip that the man has overcome a lot in his life and he's still going strong. Kyler got all the headlines for that 48-yard touchdown run, which was also amazing. But James Conner, really the heart and soul of that game and that team. And to see one of his childhood heroes, Emmitt Smith, kind of give him those flowers. Yeah, who wouldn't share that clip?
We're in it, Rip. We're on the Monopoly board. We're playing. 5-star text from you this week, I got to say. During your birthday week. Rip's having a great week here last week, listeners. Keep in mind, 2 months ago, Just keep this in mind. 2 months ago, we did a one-star meetup in the city of Laughlin, Nevada. The first night of our Laughlin trip, my co-host here did a 20 beer night at Bikini Bay. You remember, Rip? Probably not. It was epic. Barely. But last week I got a text. I didn't expect to come for a full another calendar year, so it was unexpected. But you got the hall pass for another vacation / live show for the month of December. Rip, congratulations. For the other husbands out there, bro, how did this happen? How did you earn a December hall pass?
Well, the code in marriage terms is when you've been around too much and you need the wife needs some space. I think that's kind of what it boils down to. So it's kind of those, oh, you should get out of town for a couple days or a few days or so it's usually subtle, but we kind of know exactly what it means, those marriage vets.
An exciting text from you, Rip. December. So December it is. Stay tuned. Got my mind going a little bit. I had some ideas. I sent you some texts that had some substance, but no real concepts for December.
You trying to run it back in Laughlin? Is that what you're getting at?
I wasn't thinking Laughlin. I know you want to stay in the state of Nevada. You want to do a little share? You want to do a little show and tell of what you have in mind, or are we going to hold back?
Let's just say if I get 48 hours out of town, we're going to try to do something for the pod. Let's leave it at that. If it happens, it happens, and you'll know about it. One Star listeners will be the first to know, but try to do a little something different. I think we can make it happen, DK.
Hit a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple, right? Maybe if we get 20 5-star reviews this week, you can let them know, because this is pretty amazing. I mean, Emmett Smith, we got JJ Johnson, celebrity chef this week. It's not like we don't kick it with some dudes. The state of Nevada will be the hint that I'll give you, but December, stay tuned. Stay tuned, Rip. Fly, Eagles fly, maybe. You vacation pass earner. It was a good text to get from you. Is it anything else? My mind immediately went to, we've been invited to some college football stadiums. So I was thinking this is an opportunity in December to do that, but let's keep it West Coast. Stay tuned.
Start small.
Yeah, we'll start small, Rip. I've been a longtime fan of Chef JJ Johnson, Rip, for a long time. He's been in Harlem for a minute. Worked with some pretty famous chefs before he got his break. Alexander Smalls, David Chang. He entered my world years ago when it was a combo of events, strange events, that led him to being a follower on our social media pages, I think is how this all happened. Rip. But nevertheless, my sister, who lives in New York City, went to Field Trip in Harlem, sent some pics to the family, family text. Check it out. Interesting rice bowls. Here we go. Check it out. And then a week later, he was on the David Chang Show podcast. So from that point on, that was a couple of years ago, I felt connected to JJ. Sure enough, the universe collides. Dude is blowing up. Yearbooks, new restaurants, all kinds of stuff later. And Rip, the extreme booker, lands my guy JJ on the show, which is super rad. I love chefs, Rip. Continue to bring me. These are like, it's your birthday week, but I feel like it's my birthday week, because I'd much rather talk to a chef, to be honest with you, than a handful of athletes. No disrespect meant out there. But I just love talking food. Favorite subject. So anyway, bro. So this fast casual rice restaurant, Field Trip's the name of it, launched in Harlem, 2019. The slogan I mentioned, rice is culture, sets the whole tone for the restaurant. And you know what, bro? I kind of want to read you a couple bowls and just get your ranking 1 to 5 star, because I know you're a tough sell and you don't do peanuts and all kinds of stuff. But let me hit you with a couple of these bowls. You 1 to 5 star them. You ready?
Let's go.
It's crispy chicken bowl. Carolina Gold fried sauce, sticky barbecue sauce, crispy chicken. Doesn't say what kind of rice with this one here. Texas brown rice.
I'm going 4 stars only because I do love crispy chicken, but I feel like you have to be in a mood to eat that with rice. So I'm going 4-star, but it sounds amazing.
Yeah, pretty good, man. We got a gumbo bowl, shrimp, scallops, okra, chicken sausage, red rice, and beans.
Another 4-star. I think okra is something we don't eat very often, but I guarantee Chef JJ does it top notch. I'm going 4-star on that one.
Top seller out there. People love the veggie bowl with this rice, this Jolioff balsami rice, roasted broccoli, vegan cucumber yogurt, Nana's bread. Rip, how about veggie? 4-star that one? You gonna 4-star everything I give you, Rip?
I'm full of surprises. I got 5 stars on that one, DK. Everybody knows I tried veganism for a while. Sounds amazing. Probably the healthiest one you've listed so far. 5 stars.
How about this is the one I'm getting? This is the shrimp bowl. Sticky rice, green curry sauce, toasted coconut. Count me in for that one. JJ did not like that I do sticky rice in the microwave in this interview.
You're 1 star, but I'm gonna go 4 stars again on that one. Cause just only with shrimp, I love shrimp, but again, you have to be in a certain mood to eat it. It's not an everyday thing. 4 stars.
4 stars. Great menu though. Field trip. Check it out if you're on the East Coast. If you're going to the Bahamas in Atlantis at the hotel, he's got a restaurant there for I think another 6 months. Go grab yourself a veggie bowl. Take it down to the beach if you're out in the Bahamas listening to the podcast. Rice, man, it gets slept on a little bit as a something that's really bad for you. I think it's like anything in life. To everything in moderation, right? Rip, too much of anything will become a bad thing at the end of the day. It's kind of an energy carb. We've gotten back to society. I'm hearing a lot of bodybuilders and fitness people now say chicken and rice, white rice, all good. Actually, better than brown rice, possibly. Are you hearing this too at all, Rip? Or no? Are you out on rice? Rice isn't a thing for you.
Kind of got rejuvenated for me during this interview. We talk about it right at the start that JJ loves black rice, which I don't even think I've ever had unless it was kind of hidden in a bowl somewhere. But I feel like I'm going to try the recipe he gave us. Everyone should stay tuned.
Forbidden rice. You'll see it sometimes listed as forbidden rice, which makes it sound even more bidden. If it's forbidden, got to try that. Black rice sounds a little bit messy though, like it would leave like a stain in your sink. We're 1 stars though, man. Microwave sticky rice, meeting that shit, Rip. I guess it's not legit. What is legit is JJ Johnson. Enjoy this interview.
Now joining the 1 Star Recruits podcast, we have a father, an author, an entrepreneur, a James Beard award-winning chef, and a guy whose dream is to hand out black rice to trick-or-treaters on Halloween. Chef JJ Johnson is on with the 1 Star Recruits. Thanks for hopping on, Chef.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me on.
We're glad to have you. We're going to talk about it all in the next 20 minutes or so, but I've got to start it off with rice because your book is called The Simple Art of Rice, and you call black rice the goat of all rices. So the fellow 1 stars, we all know that white and brown are the most commonly eaten in the U.S. Can you share a black rice recipe that Americans can try out that will make them fall in love with it like you are?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Yeah, black rice is the goat rice because it's grown black, milled black, and when you cook it, it stays black. There's nothing that happens to it. I think that's really important when you think about food and when you cook. It also has, it's great for people that have diabetes. It has vitamin B, omega fat acids. It has a lot of different nutritional value in it. What I like to do with it, if you like farro, if you like barley, black rice is a whole grain. So you can cook it very similar to those grains. You can boil the rice if you're not a good rice cooker, but it is a great rice dish to make fried rice with. You can definitely just cook that rice the night before down, and then whatever you normally put in your fried rice, you can substitute it with black rice. It'd be really great, really flavorful. And then as you get more familiar with black rice, you can cook it in half water, half orange juice. You can make it sweet. You can make it savory. There's a lot of things to do with it, but I love to use it in fried rice format.
I love that. And listeners, we're not going to do full rice episode. However, if you're interested, the way that we found JJ, he was on the Dave Chang podcast and they were talking heritage grains. And I never even heard of heritage grains. If you want to listen back and learn more, David Chang episode, give it a Google, check it out. JJ, we're talking 20 years in the game. You're about to hit 40. For youngsters who are starting restaurants, who are being entrepreneurs, who are getting into the food scene, which is so hard, where should the focus be nowadays? The food, the experience, owning your building, the bottom line? Where should we put focus, bro?
So much focus to be put in. If you're just starting out, you should start out as a dishwasher or a porter in a restaurant. You should really feel and see how it goes through. That's where I started. I rode my bike to a country club. I grew up in Northeast PA in the Poconos. I rode my bike. I was a dishwasher. And while you wash dishes, you start to get odd and end tasks. Like butchering chicken breasts or maybe shucking clams, whatever it might be. You'll start to learn from that position. But I recommend everybody start there, and that will really let you know if you want to be in the game. If you're young in the game and you're like coming out of culinary school or you're working somewhere right now and you feel stuck, go work for a chef that you love or believe in. Like, you want to go work for Sean Brock in Nashville, go work for Sean Brock in Nashville. Pack up your bags, find a spot, go there. But if you can't do that, find the best restaurant in your community and go work at that restaurant and gain skill set from that. You should constantly keep moving around when you're young to see food through chef's eyes. And that's really important. Then after that phase, if you could cop the building, get the building. I think that will really change a lot, where you could have your restaurant on the bottom and you could have some tenants on the top. I think that goes for any business. If you can really get the building and start out that way. I have not been that fortunate yet to grab a building, but that's a part of my dream to get, to put a restaurant on the bottom and have some tenants live above. I think it would be an amazing way, but also just a great business model.
What, JJ, they didn't give you a suite at the Atlantis with a new opening down there? Rent that thing out?
I get. They went field trip. One of my restaurant field trip. We have one at the Atlantis in the Bahamas. Yeah, I got a suite there, but I don't own it. I don't own the suite. They just put me up really. They just put me up really nice.
Hey, so JJ's got the suite on Airbnb, trying to rent it out with the new restaurant. This is really weird going on. Yo, I got to bring up David again, David Chang, because he's doing a new show on Netflix that I love. It's kind of like Black Licorice a little bit. Some people love it, some people don't like it. It's a new cooking show, Dinner Time Live, where he's doing a unique style show with Chris, his partner. I think it's so good. My question is, when are you going to be on, JJ? First of all, when are you going to be on?
Am I going to be on? I actually was texting David a couple of weeks ago, just telling him how dope the show was, and I know how hard he goes into testing out these recipes, because like he's cooking live, and he probably tested this recipe out 10, 15 times with the team to then be able to execute that. And you see sometimes in his face, he's like, oh man, I'm gonna flip this over. Is it gonna come out? But I think that's the beauty of food. It just connects everybody. And if there is no controversy around what he's cooking or what's going on or why is that happening, then it's not good enough.
Yeah, totally. And the style of cooking is so much more relatable for me as a viewer and a home chef, because I see him mess up. I see him overcook stuff on the stovetop, or he gets into a conversation too deep, which we all do. Catch me watching the Mets game last night. Burnt my garlic bread. Normal shit that happens to all of us, you know. So I really appreciate that. Who would be your two guests if you're hosting a David Chang show on telly?
Oof. If I'm hosting, he's calling me in the host.
Yeah,
oh, that's a good one. Who are the
homies you calling up to come join you?
Who's coming up to come join me? Well, I'm definitely probably gonna have Carmelo Anthony pull up, because I know he's gonna bring the good wine. So I'm gonna bring Mello, stay mellow, and then I'm gonna bring a musical artist. I don't know who that is. I want it to be a female, because I want the scene to be different. I want the banter on the table side.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm gonna bring. Maybe I'm gonna definitely. We definitely gonna try to get Rihanna to pull up to see if she wants to come on.
Nice, great balance.
Great balance. A good balance. But I know Mello's coming for me, because he loves coming when I cook. So I know he's gonna pull up, and he's got the good wine that I can't get my hands on.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pair that wine with some of those quinoa bao buns you make up, bro. Those things are killer. Those things are so good. So the restaurants, the books, the podcasting, the friends, you have a nice platform, I guess we'll call it nowadays. Who knows what you call these things? Anyway, but looking 5 to 10 years from now, outside of food, there's other things that you're interested in: climate change, politics. You have other interests, which is refreshing in the chef world, because sometimes you all get singular focused. What's a positive impact you'd like to see over the next 5 to 10 years outside of cooking and chefing in the world?
I think food is the greatest connector, right? And I think that's why I'm able to have a point of view in some other areas. And food is important. I think it's important for everybody, in climate and agriculture, especially here in America, right? It's how the country's been built. It's why we're so rich. But I think we've been forgetting about it a lot lately. that why isn't there corn in August? What's going on with our heirloom tomatoes? Why don't we get wild caught salmon? So I definitely want to keep having an impact on the food ecosystem in the next 5 to 10 years. Um, I'm not running for office or anything of that nature, but I will have a voice. I will have a voice around the food system, and I have young kids, so I want them to be able to eat delicious food and not have to. I'm not saying nothing's wrong with vertical farming. I think we do need vertical farming in some ways in some parts of America, so people can get food. But it'd be great to just look at the black soil and for everybody to be able to eat really well.
It's a good common trend among, I'll say, the more well-known chefs now, because y'all have young children now. So we're still cooking, we're still doing the scene, but we're really thinking about deeper things that affect the future generations. I love it. I'm all about it, man. Let's talk about you coming up real fast. We do a quick hitter game. You're from the Poconos. You mentioned it. We want to know, how Poconos are you? You ready?
All right. Oh wow. Let's see how Poconos I am. Uh-oh.
Bringing it
It's been a
back.
minute. It's been a minute. At the Camelback Resort in the Poconos, there's a slide. There's a water slide called the Pocono Pipeline Mountain Coaster that cuts through the mountains. Listeners, this thing goes 25 miles per hour, I believe.
It does. It does.
It's a modern version of a slide. It operated from like the 1977 to early 2003. When you were growing up, only real ones know, bro. What was that slide called?
You know something? This is a shame. I don't remember that slide because I was a lifeguard at Camelback Beach back in the day. So like, you just stumped me because I know the slide. I've ridden the slide, but I don't remember the name. So you got me on that one.
we got him. Winston got him. Our producer got him. It's called the Alpine Slide.
Yes. It is called the Alpine Slide, the OG Alpine Slide.
You knew that. Lifeguard, though. You save any lives, JJ? You save any lives as a youngster?
I did save 2 lives as a youngster.
Let's go.
It was my way to stack. It was my way to stack chips right before going to culinary school.
Very cool, bro. Very cool. Second question. What town in the Southern Poconos bears the name of an early 1900s American athlete who won 2 Olympic gold medals? He also played Major League Baseball and NFL football.
Yeah, I'm failing. Everybody's going to be pissed on me. Southern town. So we're going Southern town. Like, are we going towards Easton? Are we going towards like Northampton?
Like down by Allentown, down by Lehigh Valley, but Southern Poconos.
Like Parkland? Ooh, I'm getting close. I can't remember this.
You'll know it right when you hear it. It's like
Bethlehem?
the Alpine Slide.
Nah, you got me. Oh, I'm 0-2.
Jim Thorpe.
Oh yes, come on. I should know that. Jim
0-2. Not very Poconos yet. I'm gonna shift to the Poconos.
I named every town around Jim Thorpe, but didn't name Jim Thorpe.
It's 5-star for geography names, bro. We'll move. I'm moving from Poconos, Rip. How about, dude, everybody loves Wawa. We're going right to Wawa. I don't care. What's your go-to items, Chef JJ? What's your go-to items at Wawa when you hit it?
So, Wawa is epic. The closest Wawa to me back in the day was off of 940, going towards Blakesley. And that was the only place you could get Turkey Hill lemonade.
Ooh.
Back now, you see Turkey Hill lemonade everywhere, but the only place you could get Turkey Hill lemonade was in Wawa. So that was my go-to first, and then when they hit the half and half, I'm a half and half guy, half lemonade, half iced tea. Back in the day, Wawa, yeah, Arnold Palmer, yeah.
That AP, did that have any influence on the Passion Time lemonade that you serve at the restaurant?
Always does. Like, you got to have a lemonade and you got to have an iced tea. People are looking for it. I always go half and half on mine.
Respect.
This man knows the Poconos. We know it. JJ, we end every interview with the segment we call 1 star to 5 star. We talked about it. We're 1 stars, but we're trying to get better with advice and tips from every guest we have on the pod. So I'm going to change it up a little bit. We usually ask 1 to 5 star questions, but we got a chef on. We don't have him often. So I want to ask some 1 star. We're going to call them 1 star home chef questions. I got a handful of them for you real quick. My kids eat a very 1 star diet. I have a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. And we're a lot of the same things they serve at public school cafeterias, to be honest. Chicken nuggets, quesadillas, grilled cheese. You have 7-year-old twins. Is this the norm? How do a chef's kids eat for dinner? Are you hitting up the spaghetti sometimes? Grilled cheese? What do you got?
Yeah. Listen, I think every kid is picky. I think it's just natural. It's like really interesting watching them. Like when they're very young, you're feeding them all this stuff, they're eating, and then they have this moment where they kind of divert. I call it like the challenging time. My kids actually don't like chicken nuggets. Even if I try to give it to them, they don't like breaded chicken. But I do believe if you feed your kid something new 10 times, on the 11th time, they'll start to like it. So I'm always introducing my kids to something new. So it's like, yeah, you want white pasta, or yeah, you want red pasta, but I'm going to give you duck breast today, or I'm going to give you zucchini. So yesterday was like, I did like stewed lamb with potatoes. And it was their first time ever having farro. And I just cooked the farro a little bit longer than I would normally cook it because it's a harder grain. And it was interesting because they were like, oh, this is like rice. But now I'm constantly reintroducing farro throughout the week. And they know we always have one new item that we try to introduce to get to them. And I think as parents, we should constantly keep trying to introduce our kids to stuff. Bring them to if you have a farmer's market, bring them to the farmer's market, bring them to the supermarket, have them start to select some of their food. Like, what vegetable we're going to have this week? Just one vegetable. Maybe it's just broccoli or string beans. And then let them own it.
10 times is genius because I'm giving up after 3 or 4. 10 times
It's
is the
hard.
right number.
It's hard. I'm not telling you it's easy. It's hard. It's hard.
That's 5-star stuff. My wife's gonna kill me for that question because it's just me. She's not feeding him that stuff. So let's move on though. Why are leftovers sometimes better than the originally cooked meal? Why are leftovers sometimes better the next day?
No, I think anything that's like stewed or saucy or baked, the meat or the pasta or the eggplant parm or the lasagna gets to soak in all that additional flavor. It's kind of like brining or marinating. So there are some dishes that are just really great the next day. And I'm not a leftover guy, but there are some things I will eat. I will eat eggplant parmesan lasagna the next day. It's delicious. I will definitely eat the bolognese, or I'll make the bolognese, stack it, put it in the freezer, reheat it, throw it in with the pasta. It's delicious.
Stay away from the leftover chicken nuggets.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
ain't doing that. We're throwing them in the trash.
I get it with the sauces. 3 more 1-star chef questions here. The proper way to load a dishwasher for me, home chef, are you rinsing? Or are you just putting it in with the food on? Couples fight about it all the time. What's the proper way to load a
Me
dishwasher?
and my wife's biggest beef in our house. The biggest beef. You should rinse the dish and put it in. I said, well, that defeats the point. If I'm washing, I might as well scrub the dish if I'm rinsing the dish. And don't on these commercials, don't they tell us don't rinse the dishes? But yeah, it is the biggest beef in my house. I rinse the dish now because I don't want no beef with my
You
wife.
know what?
So
I'm
You
glad
got
we're
you
all on the
got
same page too. It does wifey with me will clean the hotel room before the housekeeper comes in too. There's a couple of these things that are wild to me.
I'm
it's
like, I'm with you, DK. It's like if I'm rinsing the dish, I feel like I should just get my sponge. I should just clean. I should use the dishwasher to just put in there so it can dry.
Yeah. All right. 2 more here. Does salt actually help water boil faster? It's probably a proven fact either way, but we're 1 stars. I'm really asking for the purposes of making boxed mac and cheese here. So should I put salt in the water?
Well, you do put salt in the water, but you don't put salt in the water when you first put the water in. You bring the water once the water comes to like a steady small simmer, like you start seeing bubbles. You drop the salt into the water, and the salt will bring the water to a boil.
Okay.
If you put
Any
the
tips
salt
on
in the water too early, it will take a really long time for the water to boil. Or if you don't put salt, it will also take a long time for the water to boil. So you have to put it in at the right moment.
just making sure mac and cheese rise we're still on the same page. A little bit of butter, a little bit of milk. Is there anything we're missing in there, JJ, that we should do just in the basics to make it better?
You know, the
Such
box mac and cheese, I'm not gonna lie, like whoever came up taking like milk solids and cheese powder and being able to make it, because like if you really taste it, it is actually really good. It's not good for you, but it is actually really good stuff. And whoever was able to develop that is really brilliant. But yeah, you need butter, you need some milk.
Maybe we can get a JJ Johnson mac and cheese line going, a healthier mac and cheese. All right, last one. We're going to go down the well even further. Unfortunately, DK is well known on this podcast for buying super cheap frozen pizza, and he pays for it the next day, but he keeps doing it. With young twins, I think 7-year-olds, I know there's at least one night every couple months where you're going down that frozen pizza well. What's your go-to brand of frozen pizza?
So I do have frozen pizza in my crib. We live in New York, right? Like, so it's like we don't really need frozen pizza because there's a pizza shop on every corner. But I've been going down like a rabbit hole, like studying frozen products. Some of it's really good out there. Trader Joe's frozen pizza, 3 cheese pizza is really good. Roberta's frozen pizza is really good. I don't know if you guys can get Roberta's, but you can order it online. It comes like in a Cryovac bag, which is nice. And then what is it? California, not California Pizza Kitchen, but there's another one like a California brand. I can't think of the name. DK, do you get that one? I saw you nod your head.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in Hawaii, so I'm thinking about. That's why I get frozen pizza. I'm not in New York. I'm jealous. That's why I do it, Rip. It's not because I would like good pizza, bro. I feel disappointed. I'm more excited that JJ says he's sniffing around the frozen food game. I'm hoping some sticky rice from Field Trip will make its way out to Hawaii for me.
Ooh.
JJ, while I have you here on rice, last one. We're going to let you go here. When I'm making sticky rice at home, sticky rice, I just get the microwaved rice, which is fine for me. I do a little condensed milk and a little coconut milk. Is that right?
Stop it, DK. With the microwave rice in the bag already cooked?
No, in the little mini slot, you just peel the front end up and you just put in the microwave for 70 seconds. Listeners know what I'm talking about.
We gotta stop. We gotta stop you right there.
Lazy DK.
Take and make some rice. I don't even know how to make sticky rice that way. I couldn't even give you advice. But if you're making sticky rice, take some coconut milk, take some lime juice, take some sugar, take some salt, bring it to a simmer, throw the sticky rice in there. And just remember, the longer you cook sticky rice, because it is a style of grain, the stickier it will get. So, fun fact: get a rice cooker, DK. Come on.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a rice cooker, bro. I mean, I'm coming to Harlem and I'm coming to Atlantis and I'm gonna eat some damn heritage grains and figure this out because
we would love to have you.
You're on some next level. Really, rice bowls have been around for a long time and we know we like them and they're healthy. They haven't been messed with. And I appreciate you changing the game a little bit and educating us. We hope to see you on Dave Chang's show soon, talking about grains and shit. Thank you for being on the show, man. We really appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys having me. You have a great day.
And everyone, go follow JJ at Chef JJ on Instagram. Everything he's doing can be found at chefjj.co. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Helping out people in need as well. And we wish you the best of luck in the future. Thanks for coming on with the 1 stars, JJ.
So thanks, Rob. You have a great day.
All right, you too. Take care, man. Special thanks again to Chef JJ Johnson. Everybody check out Field Trip and Bankside in New York City. DK, this guy to me, I don't know if you get the same feeling, but it feels a little to me like when we had Jaden Daniels on back in, I believe, 2021. He was still Arizona State's starting quarterback. Not many people outside of Arizona and California knew about him, but now he's the most prolific rookie passer in the NFL, the biggest thing to hit the league in like 5 years. I feel like JJ Johnson's on a similar path. Right now, he's known as the king of rice and the owner of Field Trip restaurants. But if you look at this guy 5 years down the road, I think he's got bigger plans, and I'm glad we got him early.
Trying to think of a comparison I like a little bit better. He's not a rookie because he's been in this game for a while now, Rip. But we got him early. That's for sure. Maybe a little bit more of a Sam Darnold. COVID kicked him around a little bit and worked out some of these things. Or, yeah. Bottom line is we get them early. You learn about them. Guess what? We bring the content for you to take to your workplace, take to your family gatherings. Guess who's talking about forbidden rice at Field Trip coming up at the
Thanksgiving
get together. Thank you, Rip. Save me there. Yeah.
Speaking of content and getting in on things early, I don't know if you noticed, you're not on Instagram these days as much, but I posted my annual NBA tip-off video of me doing that throw off the backboard, come up on the other side and jam it home. Lots of engagement on that, DK. Lots of engagement. If you want to get in on it early, check it out now. I've been doing it for, I think, 4 years now, the same dunk. I'm getting older every year, but the dunk gets sweeter and sweeter. I got lots of comments about how I got 4 inches off the ground. Thank you, Dave White, but I believe it was actually a little 6, 7 inches maybe. I still got some life in these legs. So yeah, content, DK. That's what it's all about.
Every year, get it out there. A lot of haters on the shoes. A lot of haters on the shoes. Form still looks pretty good though, Rip. It's risky every year. Reminds me of the story of the comedian who injured himself.
Every year I keep doing it, DK. You're right. It gets riskier and riskier. The time I do it and I go down with an Achilles tear live on video, that's going to be the time it blows up on social. So no risk it, no biscuit.
No biscuit. Looks good though, man. Nice. Good form. I appreciate every year. It's how that I know Thanksgiving is coming. It's like the fall transition. Everybody waits for Rip's dunk off the backboard, and then we can transfer over, bring out all the stuff to set up for the fall. So thank you, bro. You activated everybody. Activated the world over there. You're a hero. You're a hero, Rip. World Series, man. It's here. MLB got what they wanted. I think the world got what they wanted. Two of the most vile and hated and annoying fan bases in the world get what they wanted. The New York Yankees. There you go, boys. Congratulations on beating the Royals and the Guardians. You've made it. Congrats. And the Los Angeles Dodgers, another team that just, Rip, I already know. I already know how you feel about it. But coveted, man, the coveted matchup that I think the world wanted at the end of the day. These things usually write themselves. The universe obliges, and it does again. This year's World Series, we have Shohei Ohtani, though, Rip. We got Aaron Judge. It's the big matchup people are going to be looking at. Judge has been on fire. Ohtani in that whole middle of the lineup, so freaking scary, though, Rip. There's an opportunity to see. Let me ask you this, Rip. Baseball guy, manager, stolen base leader for Long Beach Little League Pee-wees. If Shohei Ohtani is needed, will he pitch in this series?
He will not pitch in this series. I think they'd be ramping him up more in preparation for that, and I think it's too risky of injury, and I think they just haven't prepared enough to do that. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's the right answer. It'd have to be a crazy, crazy situation for that to happen. Holy shit, would that would be like the Truman Show at the end of Truman Show. Everybody would stop. That would be a Barry Bonds moment. This is going to be pretty big, Rip. I'm kind of excited. You're down in the SoCal area. You got to be feeling the energy somewhat. Last year's meeting between the Rangers and the Diamondbacks, our Diamondbacks, least watch World Series, 9.1 million viewers, which is decent. Not great though at all. They're expecting in the United States for this series well over 20 million. So almost as much as Ohio State spends on NIL. Dollars to humans, though. That was a bad joke. That didn't even make any sense, Rip. But 20 mil we're expecting each game for this. So it's going to be exciting. What are the vibes in LA like? Are your kids pumped? Are people excited? You seeing Dodgers flags on Subarus?
It's through the roof. I looked yesterday on StubHub. The cheapest ticket to any individual game is $1,200, which is crazy for a baseball game. I think the most I've ever paid to go to a baseball game is like $180. $1,200 even in the 500 level, 500level.com at Dodger Stadium. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting because New York versus LA, it's actually the first time they've met in the World Series since 1981, 43 years back when the Dodgers won in 81. But I'm in an interesting position because I've grown up my entire life hating the Yankees, hating the Dodgers. I have two boys now. One of them became a Yankees fan the minute he found out they had 27 championships 2 years ago. He found that out when he was 6. So he's a huge Yankee fan. My other son has been seeing a Shohei Ohtani for his whole 6 years, and he out here in LA, and he's a huge Dodger fan. So there's probably going to be some fights in the house, probably going to be some tears. I hate the Dodgers more than I hate the Yankees, so go Yankees.
I thought you'd go the other way. I know you hate the Dodgers, but I thought you maybe would rep your coast a little bit, your tax city. It adds value to your real estate, Rip. Makes a more valuable entity, a more valuable asset in the region that you live in. This man likes Joe's Pizza. Philly at heart, Rip. You're Pennsylvania still to the core. You don't care. Go Yanks.
It wasn't even that hard of a decision, surprisingly. It's just my gut told me I hate the Dodgers more than I hate the Yankees, so go Yankees.
Sweet Lordy. Big day for Fox. Big day for Los Angeles fans. Big day for LA as a whole and Fox. Check this out, Rip. So they got Yankees, Dodgers. World Series. Network gets a 2-for-1 coast to coast style because after game one of Yankees Dodgers, we get boom right into Rutgers USC right at kickoff. So Fox going to have people locked in. Probably going to be actually be a decent matchup. Rutgers USC for the first time in 100 years. That's going to be a decent matchup. Rutgers, look out. Rutgers, Arizona State and Rutgers college basketball rip. If you're doing early bets, we're going to talk basketball next week's episode. Much more NBA, NCAA, but right now, just put it on your list. Rib, I just want to let the listeners know. Just circle Arizona State Sun Devils, very good recruiting class, and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights up there in New Brunswick. Shout out to my guy Mermelstein in New Jersey. He'll be watching the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Dude, the poor guys in New York Giants fans, rip. How every time I have a little faith in Danny Dimes, we're not going to do NFL talk this week, but just quick Danny Dimes. Every time I have a little faith, it's so bad. I text him, and he is so consistent in reminding me that he's not supporting Danny Dimes and just wait. And every time something terrible happens, just trade him to Miami. I can't even watch anymore. Do you have any stock in Danny Dimes at all, Rip? Anywhere?
I don't, but I see they're playing on Monday night this week, so yikes.
Get him to New England. Get him out. Just start over. Anyway, Rip. That's all I got here. Baseball and sports. I'm not going to get into the weeds of it. They're going to be pretty fired up in Japan. It's going to be 16 hours behind is the time difference. So that's a little bit crazy. They're estimated to have the same number of people watch 20 million that will watch in the United States. And Japan's 1/3 the size of the country population. So I'm excited. That's the storyline. That's the big storyline coming up next week on top of the NBA season kicking off and mixing in the NFL as we got to the midpoint. We will talk more of that next week. 1-star moments of the week, Rip. What do you got?
Going back to the fantasy football, DK, I took a big loss this week. I think I scored 77 points, my lowest total of the season. Granted, my guy Jaden Daniels got hurt in the first quarter, so that really screwed my team. But I feel like this is my own doing. I feel like I jinxed my own team and possibly our entire league earlier in the year when I kicked one of the guys out from last year without even telling him. I don't know how much you even know about this, but I just didn't send the invite to him for our 20th year, just kicked him out because I had another friend, that 20-year friend that I wanted to add to the league. So a little bit of bad juju. So what it's gotten us, DK, is not only my lowest total of the season, but probably the worst two teams in the history of our league. One of the new guy that I invited that lives in Missouri, Andy Reid's mustache rides. And the other one, shout out to Big Rich, here in LA in Inglewood. We got two guys that are 0-6, 0-7, 1-6, DK. We're two worst teams possibly in the history of the 20-year league. What did I do to our league? Did I mess it up?
You know, it's a lot like golf. There's a couple things, betting, fantasy football. There's a couple things when you can't shake the Yahtzee dice that much, Rip. You can't disrupt the gods. Okay? I knew when I saw Big Rich pick Isaiah Likely. And he tried to let everybody know. And then after week one, Likely had that big game, and Rich was letting her. I already knew the downfall was coming. I could already sense it. The only way to retrace the juju back is to get at least four of the 11 members in one room and to have 6 Coors Light, and you have to split one carp fish. And you can eat it with flour or corn tortillas if you want. It's probably the only way to get the juju back. You know this already.
Sounds like the only place to do that would be Laughlin, the carp capital of the country. But yeah, Big Rich, 1-6, 584 points scored in 7 weeks. Come on, Big Rich, make a trade for Christ's sake.
Come on, Big Rich. We told you not to go to Bullhead City. Really, Rip. We told him not to go, but it's besides the point, man. 1-star moment. 1-star moment for me. I went out on the water. I'm a waterman. I'm out on the water. I got seasick, Rip. Really uncool, very Howley-ish thing. Really embarrassing because for a variety of reasons. My recommendation of the week is going to be tied to my 1-star moment of the week because it went from amazing to unamazing back to amazing pretty quickly. But I did a wonderful trip on the Napili Coast, which is on the far west side on the island of Kauai. About a 30-minute boat ride out to a surf spot, snorkeling, everything you can imagine there in the Aquatica, Life Aquatica. And I was cool, Rip. I was totally cool. Everybody goes to surf. I'm just gonna be a vibes guy. I'm not gonna surf. I'm gonna do a little fishing. Do a little fishing. There I am fishing, trying to hang out, be cool. All local dudes and howly me with some zinc on my fucking nose, fishing. If you don't know, you become more seasick when the boat stops moving. When you just stop and you're just rocking. The way you're just rocking. And I was cool for about 20 minutes. I did a mistake. I thought I could do a Zen. And I thought that I could do a Zen on an empty stomach on a boat. And I thought it would be cool. Dude, it was not. It was not. I threw up. The 14-year-old Hawaiian dudes were laughing at me a little bit. They told me to jump in the water. I didn't want to jump in the water because I knew that I just puked in the water, but it was a lot of just stomach. It wasn't like I was puking. Empty stomach, Rip. Bad reason. Then one of the 14-year-old guys pushed me in the water. Actually, I felt so much better after I went in the water, so he was right. Shout out Micah for being right. And very embarrassing, though. Only dude. Found out later that a couple of those little homies took Dramamine and didn't tell me. So that made me feel better. But my embarrassment level was pretty high for about 5 to 6 minutes there, Rip, for a 43-year-old dude with wearing a trucker hat with zinc on my nose, trying to hold it down on the Napili coast. So that was my 1-star moment. I could flip that real fast into my 1-star rec, unless you have any questions.
Hey, you can only go uphill from there. Let's hear it.
Same trip, dude. Woke up 5 in the morning. I walked 2 miles down the dirt road from where I live to the main road. Got picked up by my homie TK, and we went out to the Napili Coast, dude. He has this big ass surf jet ski where they go find these surf breaks on Saturdays. So it's about 17 miles, Rip, along the Kauai's North Shore and the West Shore here. It's sacred, bro. It is so sacred. And if you know, this last week we had this beautiful full moon up. So this particular morning, this full moon was just chasing us on this jet ski going about 35 miles per hour. Rip, schools of dolphins swimming with us. Not like 2 or 3, 50, 60, 70 dolphins. Look around. It felt like I was on acid on a Microsoft Windows screensaver. Um, dude, turtles the size of must have been 250-year-old turtles just kind of lounging by on this particular area. But natural beauty, Grand Canyon-esque is the closest thing I can put to this area. So that's why it's my recommendation. If you make it to Hawaii, try to go to Kauai's North Shore and then down to the Napili Coast. It's uninhabitable. Nobody lives there. You can't live there. Water is the best way to see what's going on there, but it's just razor sharp ridges made by harsh winds and waters over the years. And it's untouched area, bro. So you hop in the water with your mask on. And a lot of places in Hawaii, you hop in with your mask on, you're not going to see tons of shit for a while. You got to go to find a reef or a certain spot, dedicated spot. This area, you hop in, 300 things going on down there, like a damn aquarium. So Napili Coast, put it on your list. Look at it. If you're right now on Google Maps, just take a gander where it is. It's pretty wild. If I got to pump you up a little bit more, some movies that have been filmed there, Rip, you got Tropic Thunder, almost all of Tropic Thunder filmed on this island, but a handful of stuff over there on that side. King Kong, 6 Days, 7 Nights, Pirates of the Caribbean. So Stranger Tides. So a couple movies out there if you want to see what I'm talking about, you can dig it. But a rec of the week that I really want people to put on their travel maps. What do you got, bro?
Is there any throw up in the water out there? Any poke bowl chunks or spam musubi chunks?
Dude, we were fishing with spam musubis. These 14-year-olds and 15-year-old dudes out there were fishing and catching fish with spam musubis. No, all good. The throw up helps chum, Rip. You obviously are not a bowler.
Yeah, my wreck of the week is far from the beautiful waters in Hawaii, and you can predict it, DK. Every week this time of year, the third week of October, it's NBA League Pass, the best value in sports in my money. It's $109 this year, DK, for I don't know how many games there are in the season, like 2,000 over 2,000 games, I believe. Again, the best value in all of sports. Sunday NFL Sunday tickets like $350. You get way more NBA games. You can watch the Magic and the Pelicans on a Tuesday night. I know you're out there in Hawaii looking at that stuff at 2 p.m. $109, NBA League Pass. Sign up now. I believe the first week is free, so you get everything free for the first week every year. But then before the second week starts, make sure you sign up for that NBA League Pass. Best value in sports.
Rip's all sports this week. I'm all watermen. Look at that, Rip. Times have changed. I'm just kidding. I'm so far not. And I wish I did this stuff more in Hawaii, but it's a lot, bro, to have all the equipment and the stuff and launch and gas. You know what I mean? Still, the best boat is a friend with a boat. That still applies. Does it apply to you, Rip, or is that a stupid statement? Does that apply to you at all?
No, it's a friend with a boat, a friend with a pool, all the stuff that's expensive that you just want to be able to use anytime you want, but not have to do all the work.
It's very fun, very cool. But I saw, maybe it's because I'm 40s now. I'm like, man, very, very cool. A lot of work. It's like my decision to eat pizza or not. Is it good enough that my next morning's gonna be terrible? You know, doing the squatty potty position if I go the wrong pizza. Hit the music. Rips reacts. Rips reacts. Let's do a parent edition. Parent edition. Rips reacts. Here we go. WNBA referees. Rip, congratulations to the Liberty. The championship game kind of put the officials on spotlight after years of shitty officiating. Now that bettors are actually paying attention to this shit, it's coming to the forefront a little bit. Rip. Make a long story short, the Lynx head coach after the game said the game was stolen from them. Here we go, Rip. Do you believe the fix was in for the original franchise, the New York Liberty, to win?
My original thought is no, but when I think about it for a second, there's no way I can rule it out with 100% certainty. It's a very pivotal time for the WNBA right now. The collective bargaining agreement's up right now. The popularity's never been higher. So who knows if they want to drive it higher and drive the bargaining power higher for the players to get more of a share of the salary. I would never rule it out, DK. I hope not. I hope it's not the case, but I would never rule it out.
By far the biggest year in WNBA history, the Caitlin Clark effect. Does make sense. Conspiracy theory out there. Staying on the same question, Rip Parent Edition. Are we still buying any stock in leading one of your children towards being a referee?
It's always in the back of my mind. Haven't really done anything to make it happen yet, except for, we were going over some calls in the living room. My oldest asked me the other night, "Is this the roughing the passer penalty? Is this how you do roughing the passer?" I said, "Yeah, he nailed it." So they are paying attention. So I'd say right now we're in the research and information gathering phase.
Nice. AI. Rip is not afraid of AI in the referee game, keeping his kids going. Lions kicker Jake Bates hit a 44-yard field goal to hand the Vikings his first loss, which I would have bet on my parlay. I would have had that one train, by the way, if we were doing it. Dude, Rip, 18 months ago, I'm not joking. This guy, Jake Bates, was training to be a brick salesman and thought his football career was completely over. Arizona State University this last weekend needed to hold tryouts to find a kicker, holding open tryouts on campus. Parent edition, Rip. Can we get you back on track for training one of your children to be a kicker?
Again, information gathering phase. I talked to the Chris Saylor kicking camp head. Chris Saylor runs the best kicking camps in the country. I believe ex-college NFL kicker. He said the most important thing we can do at this age, my sons are 6 and 8, is to get them into soccer. Neither of them are playing soccer, so not a one-star move right there. But again, it's a dream of mine. The referee, the kicker, got to make it happen. But maybe I'll get them interested in selling bricks. Maybe that's the move.
It's bad advice from our guy. And I say that with all due respect, but that's bad advice. We want to become a specialist, Rip. Obviously, he didn't watch the male gymnastics, and see the pommel horse guy. You just got to do one thing really well, Rip.
You think the pommel horse guy can kick field goals?
You think the pommel horse guy played any soccer? He just did pommel horse.
Got to strengthen those legs somehow.
He's not playing soccer. That's what I'm saying. You want to be a field goal kicker? Kick field goals. How about that?
Let's get Chris Saylor on the pod. And by the way, I left something out. We have a plastic field goal set that we got for Christmas 2 years ago. My kids kick on that thing in the front yard with a rubber ball. like twice a week. So that's something. That's something, DK.
You're setting them up, at least if they end up on College game day and they're doing the McAfee kick, they're going to be semi set up for success. Yes. But I got to start seeing you rip at 5, 6 in the morning down at Long Beach Park, getting reps, hitting field goals. I don't want to see any soccer be played. Rip, the SEC will fine Texas $250,000 because fans threw all this debris and fucking water bottles on the field during Saturday's blowout loss to Georgia. Rip, please explain to the situation as if your oldest son asked you, why are fans doing this in Texas? Help parents explain that to their children.
I think you nailed it. The key is, why are they doing this in Texas? They wouldn't do it in California because we believe strongly in recycling, and all those plastic water bottles on the field down there in Texas, DK, they don't give a shit about recycling in Texas. So that's it, though. I don't know what happened to all those water bottles. They probably threw them in the gray trash bin with all the food waste. And California, we have 3 separate trash bins. Not to get political, but I believe it's a recycling thing.
The shots fired. Rip, political recycling thing and not the safety of players on the field. Rip, what a take. What a California take on that one. We're just driving around this thing. Last one, Netflix. Streaming company, bro. Just throwing money around. Third quarter financial results. Up 15%. $10 billion. Up $2.4 billion. Guess what, Rip? They're touting the importance of live advertising and live events. Rip, we got dude, the biggest gamble yet's coming. Christmas Day games. We got the Chiefs on Christmas Day coming to Netflix. Get ready, everybody. But Cooking with David Chang started this whole thing off. Cooking Live with David Chang, the first ever Netflix live cooking show. Rip, who would be your 2 guests and what type of cuisine are you cooking if you have a live cooking show on Netflix? One time, one episode.
We just heard in JJ Johnson's interview, he's going with Carmelo Anthony for the good wine, and then a little bit of a shocker, he's bringing in Rihanna from Barbados to pair up with Carmelo and himself. I got to go with 2 of the GOATs, DK, 2 of the guys that I've followed for a long time. It's Charles Barkley and it's Allen Iverson, and we're going to talk all things Philadelphia sports. We're going to talk all things. Hey, Charles Barkley will bring the good wine, I guarantee you that. AI might bring some good weed, but bring some good opinions, and it'll be a great conversation. So AI and Charles Barkley, 2 of the dream guests for one-star recruits. That's going to be those 2.
And what's the cuisine? What are you serving them?
I'm a 1-star. We know it. We talked about it with JJ. We're going quesadillas. We're going chicken nuggets, and we're going grilled cheese, DK, with some really good wine. Very cheese heavy. Very cheese heavy.
Cheese heavy. I think we could sub out some of those dishes for more sophisticated adult palates, just in case Charles Barkley really makes it, Rip. But that's a damn good idea, bro. Great episode, my friend. Thank you, JJ. Thank you, listeners. Give us 5 stars. We will be back next week.
See you next week.